Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Zendikar Rising set review. And we're gonna review Red this time. And my guest for this set review is none other than Red aficionado, our Lord and Savior, Jesus. Jesus, are you there?
Hello.
Ayan.
Aficionado.
Red aficionado. Kahit saang format, makita mo siya, red lang talaga ang nakikita sa mata. Baka manok sige.
No, I'm a blue player.
Oh.
I'm a blue player.
So medyo na-hurt ka na hindi ikaw ang gi-invite ko sa blue. pero
It's okay.
pero colorblind man ka, 'di ba?
Yeah, true.
So anyway, Jesus over here is well known sa community na maglaro ng Red, and you're very perfect for our set review sa Zendikar Rising. Nana ba kay mga cards? May mga cards ka na ba nakita na parang, uy, murag mabutang ni nako sa akong mga Red decks before pa nimo nakita ang full spoilers? Nana ba kay nakita?
Oh, yeah. It's a common spell.
Oh, wow. Common, no?
I think it's the only burn gonna stand out for me as a set, but yeah, we'll get to that later.
We will get to that later. So we'll start right out of the gates with the mythics, then the rares, then we're gonna pick our common and uncommon that we feel na maglabas yun sa it's either competitive, EDH, or heavily used na ano. So we'll start with Leyline Tyrant. Alright. Leyline Tyrant is a creature dragon for 4/4 with 2 colorless and 2 red mana. It has flying, and it says you don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. And when Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any amount of red mana. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. Sus, I can feel you shiver from way across the room. What can you say about this card?
Well, stat-wise, it's good. 4/4 flying. I mean, that's pretty much standard na siya sa flying na mythic and dragon. The first ability is flying. The second one, I'm not sure if it really has an impact sa standard. But the third ability, that's what make this card mythic. Technically, you have another free spell, diba? Like, you have an extra burn spell all the time as long as this creature is on board.
Yes,
Okay,
and has
example,
mana floating.
Not necessarily float, but as long as you have mana and this is on board, it's like nakaisa ka extra burn spell that can target anything, diba?
Yes. This is one of the most hype mythic rares in Zendikar Rising because both abilities of this dragon is very synergistic because it's a living, breathing fireball when it dies. Yeah. So implications nito in any constructed format. Will we see 4 copies or 2 copies of this dragon in red decks going forward?
2 siguro. 3 or 4 might be pushing it because you only want, as much as possible, 1 on board lang at a time, diba? Kaya if ever, like, for example, naka 6 mana and then this one dies, then you get to spend all 6 mana. But if there's 2 of them, happy sila, diba? So it doesn't really make sense kung there are 2 of them. Unless you're winning and then siguro ang lands nimo kay enough to enough to kill the opponent. But sa early game, I think you want or mid game, and if you know nga na sweeper ang kalaban or so, then keep one
keep one on hand tapos one on play.
Value.
Yeah. So there's value even 4/4 with flying. This is an automatic limited bomb. This is a bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, let's put the wow
flying
in there. Yun.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
4 thumbs up.
Yes, in mono red commander decks also, they are very, very happy because of all that mana floating around. They have this creature And I think if you have infinite mana and infinite graveyard loop, you could like fireball the entire board with this creature. So like when it dies, you
Yeah.
fireball it and it dies. So
Yep.
so many little words for this dragon, but Jesus, what do you think of this card? Is this a yay, a nay, or a meh overall?
Yay. Of
Uh,
course, yay. It's a yay.
it's a yay. And
It's really, rare to get a decent mythic, diba, sa red.
yes,
Red
especially
is
in
very
red.
notorious for giving bad mythics.
Yes. So,
Diba?
as of this podcast, this is running at $12. $12 for a mythic rare.
Not
So,
bad.
not bad.
Yeah.
So, if you could get this cheap, this may rise. We're not so sure. So, with that out of the way, let's go over to the next mythic rare. And this one also is a bit confusing for others. But
Mm-hmm.
if we go about this card, we'll get to answer some questions. So our next mythic is Moraug Fury of Akum. Moraug Fury of Akum is a legendary creature Minotaur warrior for 6/6, which has 4 colorless and 2 red mana. And Moraug says each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time it attack this turn. So it's kind of weird,
Mm-hmm.
but it also has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. Ugh. Wow, 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 wow. So many words. So can you help us,
Yeah.
Sus? What does this guy do?
Sige. So, first, it's like an anthem. Power anthem lang, +1/+0 for on the first attack. But basically, what you want to do here is chain multiple land drops in a turn. So you could see main phase. What's that fetch land again? Sa
Fabled
standard karon?
Passage. Fabled Passage.
Fabled Passage land drop. So you get to trigger the extra combat phase, diba? So you attack, and then you get the extra attack phase. But before you do the second attack, you activate the fetch to get a mountain to trigger the second land drop, so you get the third attack. So it's the more land drops you do on a turn, the better. But you have to be careful because um, you can only do a land drop on your main phase, diba?
First main phase.
O
Yeah.
second main phase.
Yeah.
And second main phase. Now, if you do the trigger on the second main phase, diba? Wala na kay another third main phase.
Yeah.
Third phase, diba? So meaning maximum, I'm not sure how the rules are. I think maximum makuha ni mo is 2 extra attacks. Let's say example, you have some Harrow. I don't know what the new
Yes.
spell is for Harrow, but Harrow has two drops, right? Pero does that trigger mustak bang trigger ni for extra attack phases? Yes or
So-
no? What do you think, Nax?
So for me, from what I recall way back, Landfall Zendikar time, I think they trigger at the same time, just like Valakut. I think Landfall is like the Valakut wording when they get into play. The trigger happens, then they check. I think I have no idea, but hopefully the peeps in MTG Davao and others will put in the comments about Moraug Fury of Akum. Well, for me,
Yeah.
I see this in a Gruul shell with it's either token builds. I can see it also in token builds because if you have like Fabled Passage lying around and you drop this on turn 5 or turn 6 with a bunch of attackers, even though the anthem won't work, having extra attack phases is like very, 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 very good for aggro decks, especially when they're already
Yeah.
ahead. I think when you're ahead and you put this, you tend to finish the game immediately. So with a 6/6
Yeah.
body for 6, if it had haste, then it would have been much more difficult to
Yeah.
to it would been much more powerful. But having the
Yeah.
landfall ability itself, even though the anthem is not
Mm-hmm.
there, it's really really good. It's really really strong. But I see this in big red decks, in token strategies, and and another legendary Minotaur commander, which
True, EDH,
yes,
diba?
in
So,
EDH.
actually, siguro compare niyo muna siya sa, what was that other mythic before na walay haste? Ilhard, di ba?
Ah,
That
yeah,
one doesn't have
Ilhard.
haste.
Yeah, so Ilhard.
Ah, di ba? So, meaning, if it had haste, then it would be much better, but if not, you have to wait for another turn. So,
Yes.
kanin si Moraug,
Morale.
actually, okay na to kung 6 to cast 5/5 with haste, diba? Because you
Yeah.
still get the +1, diba? So, but
Mm.
it is what it is. So, hope to get another live until the next turn na siya para
But
makaswing ka and get the bonus. But
Moraug,
actually,
yun. But I think Moraug is very very welcome in a Porporos deck, the new
mm,
Porporos one, because you could cheat him, then put a land drop, and they have haste. All
mm,
creatures have haste. Since Porporos give others haste, then it has 2 red mana, so the devotion count might help Porporos too. So having a big red Minotaur
yeah.
Porporos deck would be very nice with the ley line also. So oh my gulay. Oh my gulay. Big red. I think big red is coming. Solemn Simulacrum needs friends. So and Porporos needs red creatures, because Porporos only activates if you can drop an artifact and a red creature, I
Mm.
think. Yeah. So Moraug is another bullet in Porporos activity. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why did I think of that card? Anyway, so any other words? So any other words for Moraug, Fury of Akum? Any other?
Yeah. Cast him and hope he lives next turn. Swing.
Yes.
But yeah, pwede mo siya makakagapag value even if wala siya haste, diba? For example, it's past 6 turn and you have extra land drop, diba? So, cast mo siya and then land drop, at least na-trigger ang existing creatures name mo. So, it still works
Yeah.
that way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Not necessarily nga, ang advantage niya over the other cards nga pahan is katong will trigger kapag mo attack siya, di ba?
Yeah.
Like katong Angel before na pag mo attack siya na trigger, pero kani siya even if di siya attack basta naka-landfall lang ka, you get the
Kaya
extra
double,
relentless assault.
like parang yeah, summoning sickness. Okay, land drop. Then every other
Di ba?
creature gets an attack phase or something. So,
Yes.
Sus. So, with that said, Moraug, Fury of Akum. Is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Yeah, between yay and okay lang.
So it's a meh. Meh.
Not really.
Oh,
Going higher than me, but not really yay.
yeah.
Because
So
of the six to cast.
yeah, 6 to cast 6/6. Yeah, it takes a while for him to go down, but if you have like the synergies, like the show and tell, the through the breach abilities of like
Mm.
Porporos, and like ramps
Mm-hmm.
decks, Akum, a Moraug Fury of Akum is a very very good top end, or a very good bomb. In limited, Sus, what do you think
Mm-hmm.
of Moraug? Is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Oh, of course. It's a yay limit. Auto include sa unless wala dyan kilain card sa red. Pero splashable gamon siya. So, in
Oh,
limited, kung i-force ni mo.
yeah, yeah,
When you,
yeah.
again, sa limited, di ba? I-drop ni mo na siya. It's just hope you can untap and swing.
Yes, true that. So, in constructed, except EDH, this is a meh, but in limited, this is a yay. Yay, yay, yay. So, with that out of the way, wait lang. So, Moraug is the second of the 3 mythics in red. So,
Mm-hmm.
we'll now go to the modal mythic of and my net is trying to wait. And it's still loading. So it's raining. The
Eh,
internet is shoddy, but we have our
Yeah.
third mythic. It is Shatter Skull Smashing. Another tongue twister.
Smashing.
Why? Why? There's so many tongue twister. Shatter Skull
No.
Smashing. Diba? 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 Try saying it 5 times as quickly as possible.
Shatter skull smashing.
Diba? Diba?
Shatter. Smashing na lang pa dito.
No, we have to give
Smashing
justice to the
pumpkins na
card
lang.
because it is a mythic. And so,
Mm.
Shatter Skull Smashing is a sorcery with X and double red. And it says Shatter Skull Smashing deals X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, Shatter Skull Smashing deals twice X damage divided as you choose among them instead. And its modal, its flip is Shatter Skull the Hammer Pass. It is a land and it says as Shatter Skull the Hammer Pass enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tap and it adds a red mana. So Sus, I know another shiver. I can feel a shiver from Jesus. What can you say about Shatter Skull Smashing? We could just call him SS for now. Let's call him
Yeah,
SS. Yeah.
SS.
Yeah.
SS. But unfortunately, it's not SS. I don't get it. Ganun walay target player. Like, dili siya any target, diba? You can only target creature and planeswalker. So,
Oh.
Mythic, double red X, this is basically an 8 mana spell to be of value, diba? And
Oh
then there's
no.
no player. So,
Oh
yeah.
dear. But having it as a land, it can, untap
Oh, yeah.
land source. You could like use it in aggro decks just to remove blockers out of the way. But if not, you could just shock
Mm-hmm.
yourself for 3 life for a red mana. That's why it's mythic. But yeah, since
Yeah,
you
I don't even know if aggro needs this as a removal to clear out blockers because it's 4 mana for 2 damage.
yeah, yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
Divided pa siya.
Yeah.
So,
Oh dear. Oh wow. Oh my god.
you
This is
can't
what
have it all next. Sa
Oh, I
set, there
know,
has
I
to be
know.
a,
I am very optimistic, but I think this will get the horn of disdain. Uh
mm,
yeah. I have the soundbite for the horn of disdain and I'm currently yes, you pointed it out. I did not read the part where you cannot target players. Oh dear. Oh
yeah.
wow. Why? It's even as that's why it's a tongue twister so that nobody will play it. But
Well,
so in constructed, that's a far-fetched idea of seeing this in heavy constructed play. But in limited, do we slam this ahead of our, is this a first pick possible uh, card?
first pack, first pick.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Even in a, let's say, let's go back to constructed. So
Yeah.
if you have red in your control deck, 8 mana
Yeah.
just to deal 6 damage to 2 targets, diba? So that seems a lot.
Yeah.
There are
You could just
other
storm rat.
alternatives.
You could just storms rat.
Yeah.
So
Diba?
yeah. Oh man. Oh man. The horn of disdain. Yeah, I have that sound bite. You'll hear it later. So I don't man, na turn off ako sa card na ito. So, let's get out of the Shatter Skull, the Hammer
Mhm.
Pass. Let's get out of this place. So, sus, constructed
Mm.
or limited, is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Nay.
It's a nay. The
It's a
horn.
nay.
The horn is playing.
I'd love to be proven wrong, but for
Yes.
now, nay.
But looking at it right now and looking into current standard and stuff, it's like, oh dear. This
Hmm.
this card is This card is but not so fun. uh wait. So I'm trying to. Anyway, so we're heading away from Shatterskull, and we're going to our
Mhm.
very first rare, and our rare is quite familiar, but it's very new. So
Mhm.
it's still loading. So dear, internet, come on, Philippine internet. Oh, there it is. So our first rare in red is Kargan Intimidator. Kargan Intimidator is a creature human warrior with 3/1, and it has one colorless and one red, and it has a bunch of lines. So the first line is cowards can't block warriors. Uh, you may pay
Mhm.
one generic mana and choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Kargan Intimidator gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Target creature becomes a coward until end of turn. And target warrior gains trample until end of turn. Sus! Is this an aggro card of your liking?
Yes. Yeah, with a current selection, so it's very much a good aggro card. Works in multiples, diba? So let's say example, you have two of these lying around. Remember, you can only choose one that hasn't been chosen
Mm-hmm.
this turn, diba? So, and then let's say you have two or three warriors, so just target one creature sa kalaban becomes a coward.
Yeah.
All of them are unblockable.
So it
Yeah, and then
then would this be a cornerstone of a mono red warrior deck, or if standard has enough red warriors in the pool, can you see
Mhm.
yourself playing this, or even in the basic core shell of a red deck, can you see this in the two slot along with the knight that pumps and the robber of
Mhm.
riches? Do you see this side by side with them?
Yeah. So basically, stat wise, it's a very decent card. Tutukas 3/1 and multiple abilities. And by the way, so the reason why it's worded like that is because masking i-stack ni mong tulo ka ability, you can't choose the same option again, diba? Because the
Yeah.
choosing is part of the effect, not the cost.
Ah.
So di ka pwede mag pump +1 and then trigger on stack another +1. So you
No.
can't do that. So
Okay.
very
So
well
you only need
worded
three
properly siya.
mana to activate all three, and you cannot repeat all the.
Hmm.
You cannot stack it and like, oh, this one only. I'll pump all +1/+1.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So in limited sus, if I see this in a first pack, this my first pick. Would I slam this and build around a warrior deck or a party deck?
yeah, of course. It's unless there's a very uh, let's say naka sa second or third pack and you're
Mm.
trying to it's wala sa mong current pool, then siguro pass. But first pack, pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because
Oh.
again, warriors are part of the party, diba? So you can
Yeah.
even if siya lang isa ka warrior, but it's still part of the party. So good,
Yeah.
good, good, good pick dapat na siya.
And he can
And
he can deal lots of damage with +1/+1. 4 damage by turn 3 is with evasion, with pseudo evasion. It's kind of big.
mhm,
Yeah. Ooh,
yeah,
it's
diba?
very good,
So
very good.
let's say on most likely on the third turn or the turn when you attack with this one, most likely isa pa lang na ang creature sa kalaban, di ba? Unless they're
Yeah.
also aggro. So free hits, and then siguro the next turn you can deal with the other creature. So free hit gyapon siya. So
Ooh,
it will definitely have two or three hits siguro before siya matay. Unless nice spot removal, but
damn.
on its own,
Yeah.
good card.
So, we've said enough about
And
this. Yes, and
yeah, and Rubber of the Rich is a rogue, yeah? So
oh,
party,
party. Ooh, mono red party.
party.
Do but I think
Yeah.
there are no red clerics. I know there are red wizards, but a red
Uh-huh.
cleric is I haven't seen a red cleric.
No,
Maybe we'll see one here, or maybe when we search the card pool, we'll see.
database, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
Kargan Intimidator. What do you think about
hmm
Kargan Intimidator? Is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Yeah, it's a yay. And there's an entire um, group of creature types that can't block him, the changelings. So there you go, diba? If in case that
Oh,
comes up, so di ka block ang changelings, yeah.
so, but yeah, they can. No, in Eternal formats, if this is in play and a changeling is in the opponent's board, what do you call this? We can the changeling block or cannot block?
Cannot block. Because
Okay.
changeling is a coward.
Yeah. He is a
So
coward.
si Colossus, yeah, so di ka block si Chameleon Colossus.
So, uh,
It might come up, but yeah.
So we might see some gameplays in paper where you'll hear somebody says, "You'll be a coward. You cannot block me because I am a warrior." So hopefully we could hear some lines of that in paper soon after this pandemic is over. So with that, we'll move on to our next rare, and this rare, our common friend, a shout out to Shaw, just told me about the card and I had goosebumps, and this is a very good rare, and this rare is Magmatic Channeler. Magmatic Channeler is a creature human wizard with 1/3 and has one colorless and one red, and it says as long as there are 4 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, Magmatic Channeler gets +3/+1. And it has, if you tap Magmatic Channeler, discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library, then choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. Sus! Oh, wow. It's spicy. This is a spicy. Oh, this is a very, very spicy card. What can you say?
Okay, sige. So let's start with the yung stats. So
Yeah.
stat-wise, it's pretty much a murag, it's a template for a wizard, red wizard, diba? 2 to
Yeah.
cast 1/3. That's the common wizard.
Wizard
Low
stats.
power, high enough health, yeah. So um it, murag mixed feelings about this card because for one, let's talk about the second ability first, diba? It's not really card advantage because you lose one card at the cost of temporary card advantage, diba? Masyag pseudo card advantage because you get to choose 2, but if you don't get to keep those cards, diba?
Oh.
So slightly better, if not equal to a looting effect.
Yeah.
Looting effect grants you the card as long as you want it, diba? But this one, you have the choice, but you have to cast those cards on the same turn. So there's that, and then so I can see murag i-place ang second ability up until you get enough cards, instant source para ma-pump siya.
Yeah.
So there, that's so it
For
still has to work around a lot. For a wizard, medyo hindi ka siya ka-impacting when she arrives on the board. But I don't know, siguro if you build around this one, yeah,
I mean,
it might work.
it's not like Tarmogoyf levels of wowness, but if you like play this on turn 2, and
Mhm.
then you on turn 3 you can like shock lightning strike or whatever,
Mhm.
in a dedicated burn deck,
Mhm.
a 4/4 on turn 3 is very, very enticing to play around, because you'll have a very beefy creature on turn 3 which can attack, so the second line won't be of any much use. But even though you drop this on turn 2, the second ability, helps fuel your graveyard because you discard like the high mana cost instant sorceries.
Mhm.
Then you may play a card, right? You may play land cards with this ability. Diba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
At
if
least there's that. Diba?
yeah. So there's an upside if you there's a small upside when you play him early. Play him mid range, a 2 mana 4/4. You know, it's mid rangey at best. It's good stats in the mid game, but in the late game, if you top deck this, it does not matter also because the second line helps you discard your lands so that you can find more burn spells. So
Yeah. Actually,
yeah.
now that you mention it, sa early game, it's murag god hand na kailangan mo para maka 4/4 ka on
Yeah.
turn 3. Remember, you need 4 instants or sorceries, right? So, let's say, first turn shock, second turn kani, and then third turn tulo ka shock. Or 3 other one mana spell.
Fire Blast, your
one mana
favorite.
spell, di ba?
You know,
No.
like lightning turn 1 lightning bolt, turn 2 magmatic channeler, and turn 3 like bolt shock. Then it's like, you know,
Yeah.
you have a 4/4. If you just look at the first line, it's very very taxing to, like, you know, to work around it. But since it has the second line, it does not hurt to play this on turn 2 and have a pseudo looter effect in sorcery speed so that you can play lands, but you know, you get to discard your instant sorceries so that by turn something you have a 4/4 beater, you know, in control decks.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I think the reason I'm excited gan is I think this one works really well with the blue-red untap, draw, land, drop, done deck, di ba?
Yes. Yes.
Because remember, the second ability, you can also do it at instant speed.
Yeah.
It's just that ang sorcery, di mo makast, but end of turn, discard, di ba?
So
Either draw spell or burn.
Yeah.
That's what you get, di ba? Shock or
Yes.
op. It's still value, di ba?
Yes. It's very
And
very
then
value.
next turn swing kay for
Diba?
something.
Oh, because it's a 4/4.
Siguro, jank siya, wizard, blue-red something, but aggro definitely.
Yeah, but there's
Di siya pang aggro.
but in standard there's currently a blue-red spells deck with
Yeah.
riddle form, so the 2 slot is already very full. So for me, I think of magmatic channeler first as a looter, then a 4/4.
Yeah.
Because with the absence of Peteramander, long live the salamander, you know,
Pwede niya siya mapuli.
pwede siya mapuli kay 4/4. It's still 4/4. Having a 4/4 in play is very very formidable. So, in limited sus, would you like, if you see this in the first pick, would you slam this? Would you slam this if you see this first pick?
Good question. So limited first. Second pick siguro. I wouldn't first pick this unless again wala nila nindot na card, di ba? Because
Yeah.
once you get this, it's you have to somehow build your deck. But yeah, granted, it's part of the party, so it could be chance na first pick siya. Kung wala nila
So
kulay mas better na uncommon. Nabe uncommon na bomb sa set karon.
it
I think there's a lot, diba?
Yeah, there's a lot. We haven't made way with other colors, but there is one. Later we might find one also here in red. Later, yeah. So
Pero pack one, pick one. That can work.
yeah. Pack one, pick one. You see this automatic bomb, but later on, this could be acting as a filler, right? 2 drops in limited is very, very, it's a very good pick in the mid pick in limited, having 2 drops.
Yep.
So this having a decent body with a upside if you fulfill the conditions is a good 2 drop. Yeah.
Yeah, ang argument ani sa limited mode is you don't really get to build your deck the way you want it, diba?
Yeah.
Okay, with this one you need lots of instants and sorceries, but limited you can't be choosy, so mas daghang masayang na card siguro with this ability over sa advantage mo kung ano mo. So, there's that.
Oh, I force draft, I force strategies, just you know. so, 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 with that in mind, Sus, Magmatic Channeler, is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
For me, it's a nay. It's a yay, of course. It's a good card, but
Yeah.
have to build around it. But it's once in the correct shell or deck, it's a really good utility card.
Ooh, okay,
A
okay.
looter that can
Yeah.
hit, diba? So
So for a rare with that kind of abilities is very very unique also in red. Like having instant
yes.
sorcery matters in a purely red card. So I hope that I'll see you looking for 4 of those and putting it in your legacy burn. Yeah.
Um.
anyway, anyway, let's get away with that wizard and let's proceed with our next rare. Another tongue twister for me, and I hope we'll see lots of play with this card. This is Nahiri's Lithoforming. Oh God.
Little farming.
Nahiri's Lithoforming.
Nahiri.
Nahiri's
Nahiri.
Nahiri. Nahiri's Lithoforming. Not Nahiros. Nahiri's Lithoforming is a sorcery with X and double red. And it says sacrifice X lands. For each land sacrificed this way, draw a card. You may play X additional lands this turn. Lands you control enter the battlefield tap this turn. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sus, what do you think?
No. It's really disappointing. Because, diba, sige, so let's drill down the card. So, 2 and X. Sige, you pay the mana. Diba? And then you sacrifice a land.
Yeah.
So, katong gitap ni mo, most likely mo, sacrifice ni mo, diba?
Yep.
So, for each land sacrifice this way, draw a card, and you may play X additional lands this turn. So the play additional is only relevant if nabunot nimo is land.
Yeah.
Diba? However, lands you control enter the battlefield tap this turn. So, di ka recycle.
Oh dear, tawa.
Siguro
Oh my
trigger
God.
kag landfall trigger, but
Yeah. Now that you mention it, oh my god, like, why am I doing this at reviews and like being disappointed with cards? Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, if
anad na ko na next red disappointment.
red is always a
Okay,
disappointment.
so tip by if you're looking at red cards, di ka dapat
Ma-hype.
don't get your hopes high sa rare or mythic. Because it's very rare, no pun intended, to get a decent rare or mythic card, diba? Once in a blue moon na sa set. So, but it's more on if you're looking at the standard, it's usually the uncommons, commons that will shape whatever is the next mono red aggro or mono red deck.
Pero hindi naman tayo na card because kung wala lang yung lands you control enter the battlefield tap this turn, this would have been a much better card.
Yeah.
Like for landfall decks, like going like the Moraug, the mythic rare that we just covered. With this, like you sacrifice all lands and like come on, give us all the attackers, all the attack steps. In EDH, this would be like very 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 useful because there are certain land strategies that matter, and with having Moraug and this one together, shenanigans will ensue. But it's true. But one more question, Sus. Does this card deserve the Horn of Disdain?
So, tulo ka, there are 3 things nga that's holding this card back, diba? And if you remove just one of them, it will be a decent card. So, first is the X sa cost. So, you have to pay X, and then you sacrifice X lands pa dyan, and they enter the battlefield tap. So if you remove at least one of those restrictions or additional costs,
Yeah.
it will be a decent card. So
Yeah.
example, 2 to cast, but you have to sacrifice number of lands.
Yeah.
Maski ang tap pa na sila, but yeah, you only pay 2, that's good. Or X, and then you don't get to sacrifice a land, you draw X cards, and then additional land drop. So at least na isa to mawala sa kaniyang card. It could have been a decent card, but no, they're all there.
Yeah, dear Lord. Anyway, so man, this card is I will give it the horn of disdain because if I open this first pack, first pick, I will, certainly just pick it for the rare draft strategy and not, it looks good if you're like, yeah, just what you said, the landfall ability and the morale tricks, but yeah, since you've read it line by line, this card deserves the horn of disdain. So with the horn blue, what do you think, Sus? Is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Well, before that, pwede man siya in a long game, di ba? Or kung mo kag bala, it's a good card to have. Like sacrifice ni mo, bili lang at least tulo ka mountains. That still works and draw the rest, but it's very conditional and you have to be
Yes.
losing, di ba?
To do
make
this.
this work.
Yeah. So,
Either
this-
losing or winning to make this work. So,
So this card reminds me of Hydroid Crisis. For red, this is the Hydroid Crisis for red
okay.
with very low expectations. so, so it will break your heart like, oh, at least Hydroid Crisis in the beginning was like, ew, what is this card? But I do still have high hopes for Nahiri, but they have the Horn of Disdain. So we will proceed with our next rare, which is a Goblin Rogue. Oh my God, is it back? Is it back? Is the one drop that Jesus is dreaming of is back? Is it back? Do you think it's back?
It's
No.
3 drop.
No, but it's a 3 drop. It's not Goblin Guide. It's Relic Robber.
It's Relic Robber.
Yeah, Relic Robber. It's not your ordinary Goblin Rogue. So, Relic Robber is a creature Goblin Rogue with 2/2, with 2 colorless mana and 1 red. And it has haste, and it says whenever Relic Robber deals combat damage to a player, that player creates a 0/1 colorless Goblin Construct artifact creature token. With this creature can block, and at the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. So many lines, Sus. What do you think of Relic Robber?
All right. So kanisha fits in the kagrupo siya sa mga 3-drop goblins in the past. So you have Rabble Master. You have
War
Boss.
War Boss, yeah, Legion War Boss. Yeah. Long live.
I think most of them compare na ako. So the good thing about this is na siya haste. So automatic mo
attack.
Most likely maka-free hit na siya. 1 or 2 hits and then you just stay back na kung nanay other defenders ang kalaban. So it's similar to those other cards wherein they are auto kill on sight if you can, diba?
Yes.
So like Rabble Master, if malapag yung Rabble Master or War Boss, you really want to dispose of that creature as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So same goes here, but this one is mas urgent because na siya haste, so it can mas kung patay mo siya on your turn, you still have that one Goblin 0/1 or construct nga mag-ping sa mo for 1 damage every turn.
Yeah. So
it's a good card.
So even with 1 hit from Relic Robber is very good. It's already good value, right? So
yes.
But in a paper magic situation, this could like hit 1 or 2 times on turn 3.
If you're red, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
1 or 2 definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, diba? If you have third turn, and if you're on the play, so definitely basig na siya 2-drop na blocker. But if
Yeah.
wala, then good.
Good.
And then next turn, you untap, you get extra mana to probably burn the blocker or something. So
Oh.
pwede na.
Oh dear. Oh
And
wow.
again, one or two hits is enough
It's
to
enough.
make this ano.
It has done its
Yeah, and
job.
then 'di ba masking mamatay siya, the construct is still there. So unless na ay synergy ang kalaban for sacrifice a creature or anything, then ma or force niya to use a sweeper, 'di ba?
Mm.
Like control siya, sweeper, earlier than usual, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Just to get rid of the tokens.
Okay, with that in mind, in constructed viewpoints, in limited sus, would you like? Oh my God, this is a first pick situation. Is this guy like? I will get this card, and we will see from there. Is this a we categorize as a bomb, or is it a synergy card?
Not really a bomb, but pwede na siya pack one, pick one. Because again, it can win you games kung mabunot mo siya and then
Yeah,
you can take care of the blocker so murag snowball effect.
yeah. Ooh.
And then, diba, remember, in limited, there's always a chance na mo stumble ang mong kalaban sa curve or sa,
Yeah.
diba?
Oh wow. So even yeah, that's hearing from a red aficionado, I am very convinced that Relic Robber is really good if and only if it gets to hit even once. I think
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really value town, and the only way for the opponent to remove it is to waste a card to just remove the artifact creature. So it would take a lot of time to to remove the artifact creature, the token lying
Hmm.
around. Ooh, wow,
So
wow, wow.
even if you deal with this one, nasa yung mga dua ka construct na buhat, so
Ah!
it's still gonna hurt.
2 damage. Chandra still lives. Chandra +1 still lives in standard. So,
No,
so
no.
with that out of the way, Relic Robber. Oh, wait. Another mention. What I've noticed
Mm.
about the party mechanic, the really good the warriors, the rogues, and the clerics. The good ones are around on the two drop side, and like
Mm-hmm.
if you need a rogue just to activate the party, Relic Robber is a really good addition because it has haste, and once a full
Mm.
party is
Yep, haste.
activated, uh, the effects of a full party, there are cards that we have already previewed, and we're looking ahead in the set, that when you build a full party, the benefits are snowball. It exponentially gives you a leap ahead in the
Mm-hmm.
board. So Relic Robber is really good, but once again, is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Yay, of course. It's a yay.
Be- because it has haste, it is a
Ayan.
goblin, and it deals damage.
Yeah, yeah. He can happily sit together with Warboss and Rabble Master. So kaberks na sila. So
Oh, oh. Ah, yeah, goblins. Another 3 drop for. Pero in current standard, would this go side by side with Anax?
Anax. Hmm. Wala man sa synergy. But
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Sabi mo wala. Wala na sila Steamkin, wala na sila
Mm.
uh,
Sa 2 drop si
kaya.
Steamkin. Sa 3 because mono red decks only have Anax and Torbrand in the high curve and
Mm,
Embercleave.
mm.
So if you add a relic robber, uh would it mess the mana curve of red if you add like 2 copies or 3 copies? You have 3 Anax and 3 robbers. Would you mess up the mana base with that if you add more 3 drops?
Good question. So Wala kasi sila direct synergy. The only synergy they have is maka plus one siya kay Anax. And but the good thing is both of them are kumbaga kill on sight, 'di ba? So
Ah,
if you play the waiting game, drop down mo siya, just wait for a reaction, then that's good. And then kung si Anax po, it's pretty much the same, 'di ba? When you drop Anax, most likely you don't really want to extend that much.
yeah.
So usually Anax, whatever is on the board, you just stick with it unless it's you're
It
going for the kill.
Yeah, it's going to be dealt with. And another bonus tidbit
Mm.
for all you red fanatics: if a relic robber is equipped with Embercleave, oh happy day, oh happy day indeed. Two tokens
Yeah,
incoming, and
two
six
tokens.
damage. So 6 damage plus two tokens. Oh dear, another plating for Embercleave. so
Yeah.
so let's move on
Di
to
ba
the Goblin.
mag-cycle si Juan, Embercleave? Dili pa, no?
No,
It's still
Embercleave is
it's
still in
staying, it's
standard.
staying.
So technically, it is
Oh, good.
Embercleave is part of the pillars of moving on
No,
standard. So
he
with
is.
that out of the way, oh my God, we just gave red players an idea. Let's move to our next card, and this.
Mm.
Every time I see this word in a card, it reminds me of a very old card that you use also in Legacy. And this card is Roiling Vortex. Roiling Vortex is a enchantment for one colorless and one red mana. And it says, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, Roiling Vortex deals 1 damage to them. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, Roiling Vortex deals 5 damage to that player. And if you tap a red mana, your opponents can't gain life this turn. Sus, what do you think?
Yes. So, wizards love to print out of nowhere cards that don't really make sense in the current standard, but it's for sideboards other
Ah,
formats.
yeah. Oh,
And this
no.
might be one of those cards, diba? So example, ito ba yung mga previous cards nga, doesn't really make sense as standard, but it's there, and gigamit siya sa older formats. Diba? There's, I think, one or two every set or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the second ability makes sense in standard. Na by free spells? Wala, diba? Wala ba, no?
Wala. I think wala.
Wala,
No
wala.
free spells, I think,
Wala, diba?
for now. Yeah.
No free spells. But if you look back to older formats, this is a very good sideboard card. Even if siguro one main deck will do siguro because of the vortex ability. And
Yeah.
then incidental na ng second ability, and the third ability is really good because manang weakness sa
Red.
red in older formats. Yeah, once you get to spend all your cards and then dili pa zero ilang life, then it's only gonna go up, di ba?
Yeah.
And the
Ugh.
one mana activation here really helps you defend against that.
Are there any
Prevent that.
other sideboard cards in red in eternal formats that, deals with can't gain life, or do they only have the one that you're using, the instant
Sulfuric
spell?
Vortex.
Ah, yeah, Sulfuric
No,
Vortex, di ba?
let me check. Sulfuric
I think
Vortex.
players cannot gain
Um,
life, right? I think.
yeah, if a player would gain life, that player gains no life instead.
Ah, yeah.
So, yep.
But it
Yeah.
has 3 mana
So
instead. It has a heavier
three
mana
mana
cost.
and two
Yeah.
more damage. This comes earlier. So if you're looking at, it's still too late, but siguro
Yeah.
Griselbrand or something. Maunan gapon ka,
Oh,
but still,
yeah.
if you can get this ahead of that, mas pasos na siya kaysa sa Sulfur
Yeah.
Vortex.
And
In modern,
yeah.
pwede po siya, 'di ba? Like Helix or
Lightning
what
Helix
other
decks, yeah. So,
Helix or itong mga
rather than having a instant, but this over Skullcrack, or this is just a sideboard card?
sideboard card.
Ah,
Same with Skullcrack, but the good thing about this is it's a tawag ni. It's a permanent.
yeah.
So dili siguro sa mono red burn in or katong what's the burn again? Naya burn, but in a mono red like mono red prison deck, siguro, I would put this.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the incidental turn by turn damage and then uh, stop the can't gain life. So or
And
can't gain life.
And since you mentioned about the eternal formats, I think the second line is very relevant in eternal formats because of like force of will and force of
Mm.
negation and like
Mm-mm.
cheaty casting spells and like in EDH as well.
These
This will
uh,
keep omniscience in check. Omniscience decks in
yeah,
check. Yeah. So
omniscience decks.
why did when did red become the referee of Magic? When did they like, hey, you cannot cast for free. Hey, you cannot gain life. Hey, you get one damage. Like, hey, you cannot have lands. What? When did this exactly happen? I am
I have an answer.
when.
The same time black gets to remove an enchantment.
Oh, burr. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And as I've scarred the internets, I think there's a second card already for black to remove a enchantment. I
Yeah.
saw one. I think I saw one in Zendikar Rising. So,
Yeah, there is.
but since we're reviewing this vortex, sus,
Mhm.
in your opinion, is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
If we're talking about standard, like, huh, it's hard to put a standard, but I would try and build
No,
around this as standard. So
y-
yeah,
build
yay Japon because of the older formats.
build around it main deck wise.
Yeah,
Oh,
pwede Japon.
because of the
It's still
symmetrical one
it's a constant
damage.
source.
Yeah.
Yeah, gani, diba? So if you're looking to a constant source of ano, steady source of damage. But
Ah,
again, it's, take it as a like ano.
with a
Okay, I
grain
haven't
of
played
salt.
standard in a long while, but
Yeah,
yeah.
with a grain
I
of
don't even
heavy
know
salt.
unsang meta ko, but I like this card.
But if you're like an eternal, you're an eternal red player, would you like grab some copies of Roiling Vortex for so that you can put it in sideboards in the future?
Yeah, of course,
Oh
I'll get 4 automatic.
no, because it's red.
Yeah,
And
it's nice to have.
okay, with
It's
that
nice
in
to have.
mind, kiddies, everybody watching, we'll proceed with our next rare, and our next rare is.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's another red
Skull
card that's really
Charger.
nice. And if you heard Jesus' reaction, this is a doozy. This is Shatter Skull Charger. Shatter Skull Charger is a
Mhm.
creature giant warrior
So,
with 4
mhm.
3 with 1 colorless and 2 red mana. It has Kicker for 2 generic mana. It has Trample and Haste, a red ability's best friend. If Shatter Skull Charger was kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, if Shatter Skull Charger doesn't have a +1/+1 counter on it, return it to its owner's hand. Is this ball lightning? Mini ball lightning?
Not Ball Lightning, but Viashino's Sandstalker or something.
Oh
Ito?
no,
Yeah,
it's
remember that?
old
The
school.
older card.
Wow. Holy wow. Tama no. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my. Ah wow.
Yeah. So this guy is
Hmm.
it's a good card. Three to cast 4/3.
Yeah.
The reason why sometimes the last ability becomes a plus is it dodges sweepers na sorcery speed.
Oh,
Diba?
so this
It
is a hate.
dodges
Uh
mga planeswalkers, something.
yeah.
Yeah.
A control deck's nightmare. A self
Technically, so pwede
yeah,
siya.
a self-protecting
Unless
threat.
a counter.
Yeah. But
At, yeah, in one way or another, but he can survive mga sweepers, planeswalker
sorcery
abilities, and
speed.
most likely makahit na siya planeswalkers because na-trample. So that's
Yeah.
also good, di ba? Kaya most of the time, we put a
Uh,
planeswalker minus mo dyan diretso, or most likely or something. So, maski nasa blocker, you still get to hit 2 or 1 damage sa walker.
Ah. I
Good card.
feel no. I feel this is Wotsy's like I'm sorry red players we gave questing beast to green. This is their answer. So like hey,
Mm-hmm.
we're sorry. They have questing beast. Here, have a shatter skull charger. And yeah, the trample haste ability with 3 mana with 4 power, that the stats alone is very very good.
Mm.
And yeah, this is a control decks nightmare because they need a specific answer like essence scatter, a counter spell, an instant removal spell just to deal with this guy. And if
Mm.
like if it's in the end game, red players would be like, "Hey, I'll just pay kicker and have a 5-4 trample haste beater to quickly end games." The trample haste itself is like this should be like really really good. Good
Mm.
thing, yeah,
Yeah, and in most siguro scenarios, I would not pay the kicker, diba?
yeah,
Because it's you don't really have to use those mana pag red ka unless mag-burn or something.
yeah.
Diba? So
But
keep it bouncing
keep it
as
bouncing.
long as you can.
Put it on a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
as long as you can
Yeah, keep it bouncing.
until you're ready to get that
Yeah, final
final hit or
blow.
last hit para mapatay ang
Yeah,
kalaban. Yeah,
yeah.
final blow. There you go.
So
Yep.
this
Good
so
card. I like this card.
so with no blockers, this is like a 3 damage burn spell. If you don't pay kicker, then you could like finish things off if they're like at 5 life or something. But man, this is really good. This is also a very good creature with Terror of the Peaks, ladies and gentlemen, because it enters the battlefield. Terror of the Peaks is a M20 mythic that whenever it has the Pandemonium effect. Whenever a creature enters the
Uh,
battlefield, it deals damage equal to power. And
oh yeah, balik.
yeah, so you get
True.
a sorcery spell of 4 damage, and you get 8 damage incoming if you have Terror of the Peaks. But this is really not this could be a enabler for Embercleave decks, but here's the question again for a red fanatic. Do you think that this will see side by side with Anax?
Good. So, one more thing is add yung casting cost. So, if buhay bang Oboro nga decks, if it's still, then it fits the Oboro theme, di ba?
Yeah.
So side by
Ooh.
side with Anna.
Oh, wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Double damage. Oh, wow. Oh my god. Yeah. So an odd mono red deck or an
Mm-mm.
odd mono red deck. Oh, nasty. It's very nasty. 8 damage. Ooh, more than ball
Yeah.
lightning. Oh my. Ugh. Oh,
So side by side with Anax, yeah, siguro I can put this again as a synergy with Anax because it gives Anax 2 more power, di ba?
yeah.
And then again, safe ka for removal because um either way it works with Anax kung i-put mo siya on board, then that's 2 more tokens, tama ba?
Yeah.
It gives 2 more tokens na matay siya. If not, then mag-sweep siya, then you get those tokens plus this one on the next turn to hit again. So it's good. You
Oh,
can you can
nasty.
you can have more options or more lines of play siguro.
Ooh la la.
You can choose depending on the situation. So it's good. I like this.
Oh, you heard it. He likes it. So, is Shatter Skull Charger a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Yay.
A yay.
It's a yay. It's a
Yay.
yay.
All right. We have 3 more rares remaining, so we'll pick up the pace because this is our rare modal of the red color in Zendikar Rising. And since it's loading, if you're still watching this part, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And we'll now proceed with our next rare. And it's Valakut. But it's not our
Mm-hmm.
Valakut. It's Valakut's Valakut Awakening.
Awakening.
So
Uh-huh.
Valakut Awakening is an instant for 2 colorless and 1 red. It says put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards plus 1. It is a modal card. It is the red modal card. And it becomes Valakut Stoneforge. So Valakut isn't a mountain anymore. It becomes a refinery or sorts. Stoneforge,
Mm-hmm.
to be precise, and it enters the battlefield tap
A
and it
forge.
adds red mana. It's a
Mm-hmm.
big forge.
Red, big
Sus.
forge.
Oh dear. Oh my.
Uh,
What do you think?
it's a wheel.
Yes, it's a wheel.
It's a wheel. Wheel, yeah. One-sided wheel plus one. Mura siya, dark dealings, black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Diba?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Cycle hand plus one. Um, if you're into those kind of cards, yeah, good. But hmm. My problem here is if you choose a land, it enters the battlefield tap mong good, diba?
Which is not good for red
So,
decks.
which is not good for red unless it's a uh, wala.
Well,
So good yan. I mean, yeah, fine. Good.
in
So
in
wheel plus one. It's always good sa red. Yeah, but
I
could
think
be
in
better.
EDH Nekusar decks would be very happy with
Oh
this
yeah,
card.
of course.
Yeah.
Plus one sa ano silang
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another tool. Yeah, because pero dapat the opponent should also draw, right? So one-sided
Ah,
wheel,
yeah.
it's
No.
so-so. But for a
Mm,
red card to have the word draw in it, it's very enticing for EDH. But other than that, I don't see it in. I can't see it somewhere. I cannot. I can't.
yeah.
But in Dredge,
Siguro
in
dredge,
in
dili ba mo
Dredge,
cast mo ka?
yeah,
No. Dili
Dredge
you
doesn't
have to
need.
pay 3 mana and dredge wala ba na land one or two one land sa dredge siguro. No,
So,
I wouldn't.
so enough with it. But
So,
in EDH, this is a very good card. But in other formats, this is near the Horn of Disdain category.
yeah.
In limited, you would. I personally will not get this in limited. How about you, Sus?
Hmm. No. Ang plus lang na card no is it's because if it's a double faced card, it's still versatile in one way or another. So that's a plus.
Yes. Meron akong important
Yep.
question sa'yo mamaya after the review. But we'll proceed with our next rare. So, Sus,
Oh,
Valakut
this is a
Awakening.
meh. So meh. Yay, nay, or
Automatic
meh.
meh.
It's a meh. The Valakut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but wait. Akala mo, yun lang ang
But wait.
Valakut na makita natin.
Valakut.
The Valakut. So, this other card, which is also part of, when you visit Red, you get to visit Valakut. So, our next rare is Valakut Exploration. And Valakut Exploration is an enchantment for 2 colorless and 1 red. It has landfall, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. At the beginning of your end step, if there are cards exiled with Valakut Exploration, put them into their owner's graveyard. Then Valakut Exploration deals that much damage to each opponent. Sus, what do you think?
So it's a decent card. So pseudo card advantage sa red because that's what they're giving red now. Diba? Exile top card, you may play that.
Yeah.
So either way, if you play that card, good, you get value. If you don't play that card, it can deal damage to the opponent at end of turn. So it's like Chandra, the Planeswalker.
Yeah, yeah,
diba?
yeah.
You reveal it, you can choose to deal 2 damage, or you can play it, no 2 damage, but you play the card. So
Yeah.
it's kind of the same, but it's only triggered sa landfall. So the thing here is kung mo trigger ang landfall ani and you reveal a land, then it's a it's just 1 damage, diba?
Yeah, it's
So,
1 damage. But if you have like
one limitation niya.
I the ceiling for Valakut Exploration, especially if you build it around a deck that focuses on landfall is really high, because if you ramp, if you like put this on turn 3, then on turn 4 you like double ramp, you deal 4 damage just by putting lands in, and on the next turn all your ramp spells with all your mana that you've ramped would lead you to another big fatty. But I feel that Valakut Exploration is a build around the deck. You need to like zero in on the card to really make it work. And
Yep.
yeah, because if like you put in a landfall, then you reveal a card that you're going to use. It's still very good. It's still very good. Your landfalls would become draw cards, extra additional land drops,
Yep.
extra additional cards
Yes.
in your hand. That the first part is already really good. But if you're like you want to close the game, and you're conflicted, you're gonna be given the choice of like, you want to play this card or you don't want to play this card just to deal damage, or so it's a red thinking man's card for me, and it's really good. It's really good because
Yeah.
experimental frenzy is gone, I think. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
It's gone.
yeah, so having this ability, so all your land, if you top deck a land and you have this in play, especially if you have like multiple copies of this in play, it would be like, yeah, Christmas land for you. But in constructed, it's a bit too slow. It it doesn't close out games. It closes out games.
Yeah.
It closes out games in a sense that if you have land drops, you know.
Yeah. So the downside lang niyan is again you need the landfall triggers, diba?
Yeah.
So and it doesn't help kung ma-reveal nimo kay land because you get to exile that.
Mm-hmm.
So next turn, if you don't draw a land, then this doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
No.
Meh.
So
Meh. Yeah.
I'd rather play katong wizard over this one.
Ooh,
But if you
magmatic.
build around landfall decks, then yeah, definitely kani siya. But still,
Ooh.
ha.
With that said, uh before we reveal our last rare of the red in Zendikar Rising, Sus Valakut Exploration. Yay, nay, or meh?
Um, meh. But
But
if you play it with the next card, which is Segway, ding, ding,
Segway.
ding.
I think this card, our last rare, is the rare that I think Jesus is excited about. I'm still trying to figure out which card in red are you. I know that it's in the uncommon common slot, but I think this is the one rare that Jesus is like, I would like 4 of these. Is this the card? Oh no. No, I think it's
Which
a
card
big.
is that? So you have to reveal it first.
Oh, the card is Wayward Guide Beast. Wayward
Ah.
Guide Beast is a creature beast with 2/2 for 1 red mana. It has trample and haste. And it says, whenever Wayward Guide Beast deals combat damage to a player, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Sus. Goblin Guide 2.0? With a question mark?
Well, first is it synergizes well with Valakut Exploration. So there's
Oh,
your
yeah.
landfall triggers, diba?
Yeah.
Diba? So it's a constant source of landfall.
Yeah.
That's one. Now, in so it's kind of unfair to compare this to Goblin Guide, but it's just slightly below Goblin Guide. So of course, Goblin Guide is better, but this one it's still kind of okay. Now, the reason why medyo okay na siya is one drop, 2 damage, diba? And then if it hits, you return a land you control to owner's hand.
Yeah.
So next turn, balik na po ka to 1 land, but this is already in play. So if you want to like to ramp up or something or to extend your land, siguro mo hold back lang ka. Again, mo na yung downside, diba? But it's still a good aggro card. Any any one drop 2/2 haste should have a drawback.
Yeah.
And I think ang drawback na is fair enough for this card for standard.
So if you compare this with Jackal Pop, Goblin Guide, what is the other one drop two power? The Ring Bearer, the one in Cans of
Mm-hmm.
Tarkir. Yeah. So if you rank the four cards, where does Wayward Guide Beast uh,
Okay.
hold?
So if you compare it to those other cards,
Yeah.
then it will it fits with them. Because if kana imong deck one drop, then no question you should include this, diba?
Yeah.
Because the next spell you're gonna be casting is still one mana.
Yeah.
So this doesn't hold you back a lot. Unlike kung naka sa standard wherein 1, 2, 3 imuhang
Curve.
what do you call this curve, then it's gonna hurt you at some
Ooh.
point, diba?
Yeah. So there are certain one-drop landfall matters cards in red also. So I think for me a wonderful scenario for Wayward Guide Beast is like if you cast this on like turn 2 or turn 3 with a creature in play, with already a creature with landfall matters in play, so that this would be your engine to just keep on putting on land drops and just add value to the landfall mechanic. But in an aggro shell, so does Wayward Guide Beast like I'm going to put 4 of in my mono red standard deck. Sus. Oh wait. Oh dear. Oh, he is there. He's not there. Sus, are you there? Anyway, a little bit of segue. So, or I wait. So, Wayward Guide Beast for me is really exciting because you need, uh, you know, Wayward Guide Beast is really exciting because it's a one drop trample haste, and if you have, especially in the Naya landfall decks, this could be like your engine so that all your other landfall matters cards would trigger and help on. But you have to build the deck. You have to build your deck accordingly so that you will. So since Jesus is disconnected, for me this is a. So this is a yay for me. It's a yay. It's an aggressive card with a drawback, which is very common. Wait. Oh, seems that. Oh yeah. Okay. So while waiting for Jesus to come back.
Hello
Oh,
there.
there. Yeah, there.
Nag-reconnect
Okay.
ko.
Yeah. So I forgot to, but yeah. So let's not waste our time because I know you're excited for some uncommons in red. So Wayward Guide Beast.
Mhm.
What do you think? Is this a yay, a nay, or a meh?
Yay. Still yay card for me.
Oh
It's a good card.
yes. Uh, but in current standard, in a Naya Landfall modern deck, this would replace automatically the Goblin Guide, right? This would be your engine for your other Landfall Matters cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pwede.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so that was all of our rares and mythics for red in Zendikar Rising. But before we wrap up everything, Jesus and I are gonna pick our sleeper, our fave uncommon or common cards, or some cards in red in the uncommon common slots that we are looking forward to in playing or seeing in competitive or in any other format play. So, Sus, what is your
Yes.
favorite uncommon or common card? Or do you have multiple
So
choices?
yeah, I can give you one uncommon and one ano na lang,
Okay,
one
sige,
common
sige.
card that for me stands out. Sige.
Okay.
So for the uncommon, let's start with the uncommon. It's the Goma Fada Vanguard.
Wait. Oh.
That's the
Goma
uncommon
Fada Vanguard. Okay.
human
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vanguard. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
I'll just
So
read out the card. Wait.
sige.
It's loading. So this is your uncommon. So it's still there. And poop. Goma Fada Vanguard is a creature human warrior for 1 colorless 1 red. It has 2/2. Whenever Goma Fada Vanguard attacks, target creature an opponent controls with power less than or equal to the number of warriors you control can't block this turn. Sus, explain, why do you like this card?
Okay, so the reason why I like this card is because it synergizes with Kargan Intimidator. They're both
Oh,
warriors, and if you have both of these in play, so manegate nimo ang isa ka 2 power and then plus the other creature himong coward ni Kargan Intimidator.
ooh. Pwede.
So it's
Okay.
evasion, diba?
Yeah. For me, my uncommon pick would be Spikefield Hazard. Spikefield Hazard is a 1 mana instant modal uncommon. It's the one of the modal uncommons for red. And Spikefield Hazard deals 1 damage to any target. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. You know why I like this card? Because red now has a one-shot answer to Uro. Especially an non-escaped Uro.
Yeah.
Like, if they cast it...
Good point.
Yeah, good point. You just deal 1 damage and it is exiled. It's kind of fringy. It's kind of cringy, but it targets any target. It activates prowess. It does things that helps red decks in some ways. And it is a land. So, when you don't need that 1 damage, you just put in a modal land deck. So, how about in the common slot? Which common card are you excited?
I forget the name, but it's the Volcanic Hammer.
Oh, wait.
The
I think
Royal Eruption.
Ayun. Oh.
Royal Eruption. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's to any... Oh, wow. Let's read this out because I am also amazed. For a common card, Royal Eruption is a sorcery for 1 colorless and 1 red, and it has Kicker for 5 colorless mana, and it says Royal Eruption deals 3 damage to any target. If this spell was kicked, it deals 5 damage instead. Holy bajouchas. Oh, wow.
Yes, there you go. It's a burn spell to cast 3 damage. It doesn't really, it's not something amazing, but versatile siya because you have the option in the late game to deal more damage.
Yes.
And it's just that. It's very simple.
Very simple.
And it's like 2 cards in one, diba? So.
Yes. It's like you're not sad if you top deck this Royal Eruption, and I think this would take up slots in your mono red aggro deck, I think, for me.
Yeah, of course, because again, unsa mga burn spell sa mawala, the katong spectacle.
Yeah, the spectacle one. I think that's
definitely.
So being replaced
so
with...
you need to replace it with something. Yeah.
2-drop instead.
Shock is still around, right?
Yes, Shock is still
there.
there.
Lightning Struck is still standard ba? Lightning Strike?
No.
Not.
So
Lightning Strike.
A good replacement for the spectacle burn is a good insight for a burn deck. But a 2 mana 3 damage spell to any target is very rare nowadays. So in standard, we hope to see it because the kicker, yes, is very nice. Because in the late game, if you top deck this, you'll not feel bad. So with that in mind, so for me, I know. Any other additional for the Royal Eruption?
Yeah. So compare mo siya sa kato ganing sa Dominaria katong kicker nga 3 to cast 5 damage, but that was for a target creature lang, di ba? Unless you
Ah,
kick, you can
ba-
you
the,
can target a player, but this one either kick or wala, pwede mo ma-hit ang player
yeah.
or
So
creature.
this is a powered up, the powered up version of that card. Too many cards. I can't remember. For me, I'm very excited about this card because I previewed a blue card in standard. I'm excited for this in standard. This is Cleansing Wildfire. So Cleansing Wildfire is a sorcery for 1 colorless, 1 red, and it says destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle their library. So yeah, so this is a land destruction card. You just need to put in like extra land drops. You know, just it's 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 very basic.
Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, it's like a ghost
Yeah.
quarter, but if you have like you know, spells that does not let the opponent have extra land drops or cannot search the library, it's the Path of Exile of lands, but with a draw card.
Plus,
Yeah.
if naka landfall trigger, you can target your own land. Diba? Makadraw pa
Oh,
ka.
yeah. So this one is very. It's like it. I was shocked to see this in common because you know Path to Exile is like uncommon. Then you know it became a really good card seen in many formats. Then this card is like in common and in Pauper, first time I'll mention this. You know, Urzatron is there. Urzatron is a deck in Pauper, and with Cleansing Wildfire on the sidelines, it's kinda scary to have this in red decks in Pauper. So,
Yep. Yep.
any other cards that that caught your eye?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Tormenting Voice. Hatik lang.
what the
Welcome back,
fudge?
Tormenting Voice.
I I think I
Tawa.
saw.
There's no Planeswalker, no?
Yes,
There's
there's
no
no
red Planeswalker?
red planeswalker. The equipment Scavenge Blade is also looks good because when you cast it, it automatically attached to
yeah.
a creature. It looks good.
There's a synergy. Have a creature nga pag mamatay siya, mag-deal damage. Where's that? Nax, di ba?
Yeah. It's a 4
When it
drop.
dies...
When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power. Yeah, it's. I think it's here.
siya gani.
I think it's here. No. No. You can put it. There's another reprint of Fling. It's a modal card. Yeah, and
the Fireblade Charger. One to cast. As long as it's equipped, it has haste and it dies. It does damage equal to its power to any target.
Oh wow,
it's good.
Oh
it's
wow.
Good with a Scavenge Blade.
Yeah, in limited.
And the Molten Blast is also a good card.
For sideboard siguro. Yeah. I think the
2 damage or
I like the Cinder Classam also as a board sweeper for tokens. Because like you could just deal with 1 damage, then 2 damage, but it includes your creature. So,
instant.
Yeah, and it's an instant.
So
Ooh, la. So
yes.
it's like the Pauper one, with the overload.
Trickery.
Yeah, like electricity. Yeah. So, as you've said, it's not in the rares, it's in the uncommons and commons. But if there is that one card that you are very excited for overall, mythic and rare, and common and uncommon, what card are you really excited for?
Excited. Siguro it's gonna be the Tyrant, hands down.
Yeah.
Because you have an extra burn spell, man good. As long as this is on board, Either way, either they die to this or they kill this and then they take damage. So it's
Yeah.
you can think of it that way, diba?
Yeah, the mythic rare is an automatic like yeah,
Mm.
I'm gonna get this and all. But I'm still very excited
So
with
rare.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Magmatic Channeler 2. So with
Yeah,
that,
skull shatter
uh,
skull charger.
no,
The
that one,
Minotaur,
that one.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
giant. I
Oh
also like
yeah,
the
yeah,
giant.
that one, that one. That's a
Shatter
sleeper.
skull.
I think this can be seen in play because of the third line. Oh my god, the charger is very scary. And with that, we
Mm-hmm.
end our set review for red. It was a badoozy. I thought this would have been quick, but with when you're talking with a red aficionado, things get really heated up, and it looks very good. It red looks very good in a limited standpoint, and on a constructed standpoint, red is still very loved by Wotzi in a very subtle way. In a very subtle way,
Yeah.
yeah,
And to add to that, Max, the
yeah,
reason why Red is still alive in kicking
yeah.
is not because of a card, but a new rule that they just modified, the Mulligan rule. It's what keeps the
Oh.
aggro archetype still alive. Because if even if you mulligan down to 5 or 4, you still have the 7 cards to choose from, diba? So you can
Yeah.
still craft a good hand. In the
Ah,
past, pag mulligan down to 3 or 4 ka, and then
yeah.
aggro ka, it's most
It's
likely GG na, diba?
yeah,
So
it's a
that's that.
uphill climb. And with that,
Yes.
I thank my guest, our Lord and Savior, Red
Alright.
Aficionado Jesus. Sus, any final words or shout outs before we end our podcast?
Oh yeah, of course. Shout out to the supporters of this podcast. So always, if you have time, watch Nax's videos, the matches, and everything. So like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Let's support each other and see you soon, guys, when it's
Yes.
all good na.
When it's all good. And
Yeah.
thank you, Sus. And with that, this has been me in the white void behind me with my guest. And as till the next time, I'll see you in the next video. I love you 1,000,000. Bye bye.
Bye bye.